So, long time no see, everyone. I have been away for quite a while without making any YouTube videos, and today I have finally decided to come online and basically post a video about my main account's KVK, which pretty much ended at this point. I wanted to go over the whole. There's a lot of YouTubers that already went over a lot of the details in this KVK, but I do want to express some of my personal thoughts and kind of revise it in my own perspective. Basically, right now, the KVK, which involves 2489 and 1484 versus all, has concluded, and both the enemies of our war camp, which is 2489 and 1484, have been kicked back to their starting zone, Zone 4, and all the allies are able to enter Kingsland now, which is a good thing. So, what a crazy KVK, first of all. This is probably one of the most crazy KVKs I had in this game. This is my third KVK in the game. I went through KVK 1 and 2, but I skipped 3 and went straight to Season of Conquest here after I got this account. So yeah, it was completely bizarre KVK with a turn of events that no one expected. So at the start of the KVK, I did post a video about my opinion on this KVK and said how I thought the 2v4 was a fair arrangement. So when I made that video, I actually did not know a lot of things, and our diplomats and the people in 2010 have filled me in on a lot of things that I didn't know. So I made the video first of all under the assumption that 2489 would only be on the left side, versing against 2133 and 1525 and 1188. That was my assumption, and that's why I said it was fair, because it looked like the biggest war camp will go against the second strongest war camp and an Imperium kingdom, and the second biggest war camp, which is 1484, will go against us and 1979 and 2341. So that did not turn out to be the way it was, right? When this L de France area opened, we basically got ganked. I know you guys are probably cringing from the word ganked, but we basically got ambushed by both 2489 and basically everyone in our enemies, right? And we were quickly pushed back to our zone 5, I believe. Yeah, and then they basically four-walled everything to block us off. And basically, in that way, I believed our enemies really did want a easy KVK. They wanted a 2v2 in this area, and they wanted a 2v2 in the Kingsland area, right? And one thing I did not support that they did was going back on their words, because originally I made the video on the assumption that they have agreed to the term where 2489 will go to the left and 1484 will go to the right, but that was not the case, right? And that was a huge morale uh, not boost, the opposite of boost. That was a huge hit on our morale, because basically 2010 and the war camp on the right bottom, which is 1979 and 2341, were basically zone locked, right? Which left two more of our allies to fight two huge kingdoms in Kingsland. And while they were fighting in the Kingsland, I was watching the whole time, and I was actually very impressed. They were able to hold the Kingsland for at least a day, despite how hard it was. Basically, 1188 was 1v1 against 2489, while Elk, which was 1525, and 2133 were versing against 1484. It was very, very impressive, and I really wanted to come and go help them, but I couldn't because we were blocked by probably like 20 to 44 walls made by 2489 and 1484, right? And then basically, eventually, our us and our allies were able to break out of the fort walls after about 3 to 4 days of burning the fort wall. Um, but we were able to do this because our allies never stopped fighting. So I want to give a huge shout out to the allies at 1188, 1525, and 2133. 1188 was basically fighting nonstop, draining all their accounts. If you look at the top kill points, obviously 2489 has the top three kill points. But this is one of the 1188's king, and I believe he fought over 10 billion. He gained over 10 billion kill points in this KVK. So 1188 is a crazy kingdom, and they kept on fighting, and they were able to divert our enemy's attention, where we were able to smoothly burn all the forts, as well as 1979 and 2341. And then basically, eventually, we were able to meet this in the Al de France zone with all of our allies, and basically have a fair 4v2, which 2489 was not able to sustain the power because their ally 1484 was basically completely drained. They were fighting us in zone 5, and then they were fighting us in zone 6, and they were fighting in Kingsland. So basically, all of their resources and speed ups, I'm guessing, is gone. So they were basically not fighting anymore. So 2489 was a 1v4 in the Al de France area, and 1188 did this crazy tactic where they 4-dropped when 2489 deleted one of their flags to try to 4-drop on their own, but 1188 got there first, and then we were able to successfully defend the fort until it was built, and then 2489 basically gave up and tried to stay in Kingsland until the first occupation was done, which they did successfully, and they're kicked back to Zone 4 now. So that was basically what happened, and it was quite an amazing KVK where in the beginning I actually felt overwhelmed by 1484's power. Basically, when 2010 was against 1484, we were no match for them on the field. Uh, all of their basically it was like 10 against 1 on the field, and I'm guessing they have a lot more max tech players. This is my first time being in this kingdom. The reason why I'm in 2010 is actually because I bought my account here, and I decided to stay here for one season to see how the kingdom is. I realized that 2010 has a lot of players, but almost like probably around 10 max tech players in total. So being Imperium, that is an extremely bad thing, because when you're against another real Imperium, they usually have around 50 max tech players at least, where 2489 probably has hundreds, right? So it was very overwhelming in the beginning, and then but at the end I was able to fight with 1188 a lot and stay in their ball, so it was quite enjoyable near the end. And I do want to talk about my involvement in this KVK, because I think a lot of people are probably calling me dead weight or saying I have not participated in this KVK. So first of all, I do want to show everyone some statistics. I started this KVK at around 13.4 billion KP. So I gained almost 2 billion KP over this KVK. Fighting in a very, very limited amount of time. I do have to admit, probably 4 to 5 day max in this entire KVK. And my dead troop here is 8.4 million, and as you can see, basically all of them is T5 except for 28 tier 1 sieges. I was doing like the one troop AoE decrease tactic in some of the pass fights and the uh, fort fights, right? So that's why there's 28 T1 siege deads. Yeah, so I think in unbiased perspective, I think everyone can agree that 8.4 million T5 deads is not a small amount of deads, and 2 billion KP is not a small amount of kill point. Obviously, compared to the top players in this KVK, it is very low, quite low. Even we had some insane fighters like Walzaz and Jerry from 2010 who had probably like 4 to 5 billion KP, so almost double my more than double my KP this KVK. But I think everyone can agree that it is, on the average, it is definitely above average, right? And one of the main reasons why I couldn't fight more than I wanted to this KVK was because I did have a pre-planned vacation, and I was in Las Vegas for about 2 weeks during this KVK. The main reason was it was pre-planned. I was planning to go with my friends to gamble there. Lost too much money, so the casino decided to give me free rooms for another week. So obviously I stayed, and that was the main reason why, because I couldn't fight while I was on my vacation, right? But after I came back, basically I was able to catch the turn turn point of our KVK, which I am really glad, and I was able to fight in this area with 1188 and many of our allies for about 2 or 3 days. And I was actually defending this fort while it was getting built. I was able to be in that moment, which was a fantastic moment. I probably say that was the best moment I had in this game so far. Nothing in KVK 1 or 2 was comparable because I wasn't in voice chat. 2010 does not have a lot of voice chat during KVKs, and I was basically just doing other stuff while I was balling up in our own ball, which was supporting 1188s, and I just suddenly see all of their troops just marching down. I think we were balled around like this area, and then they all started marching down for no reason. I was like kind of confused, right? But I was guessing they might try to push an area or whatever, so I just followed them anyways. And then I saw the four drop, and I was like, "Holy shit! This is on another level." And yeah, I mean, a lot of people are calling 1188 the small GT or small 1V, and I totally agree because if you look at the Lost Kingdom, Lost Canyon, basically all the top players are 1188. They are like probably more Imperium than I want to say 1484, to be honest. It is they are extremely organized, they're extremely high spending, and they are extremely tough as an opponent. Okay, so yeah, overall I did enjoy a lot of the um, fighting that happened in this KVK. And I did see a lot of criticisms about my name change. Obviously, it is a joke, okay? I'm not trying to make fun of Baba's wife, Baba's mom, or whatever. I don't know why people assumed that was the case, why I changed my name. I think I changed my name because obviously we won, right? And it was kind of a small joke to 2489 because there is definitely some rivalries in this KVK. In the beginning, a lot of the diplomats, not just from our kingdom, but from all of our ally kingdom, basically expressed that 2489 did not respect anyone else's opinion. Everyone else basically wanted a fair 3v3, right? So 2489 brings two of the weakest war camps, and then 1188, 1525 bring two of the strongest war camps and do a fair 3v3. I think that way everyone would agree it is a much more fair KVK and a much more enjoyable one. But obviously, this one was out of expectationally enjoyable, right? And 2049 basically dismissed everyone's opinions and basically said, "Hey, we're the big dogs. We are going to decide, and we're going to ally with 1484. I don't care about your opinion." And me changing the name is kind of a little jab at their leadership and at the people of 2489 for humbling them. I think they simply should not be doing this as one of the top kingdoms. You should not be, you know, standing on a pedestal and looking down on small lower 8C kingdoms and think you're better than them. And yeah, that's the main reason why I changed my name. If you're gonna get mad at my name change, please do. It doesn't really affect me. And overall, I think this KVK had brought me a lot of entertainment, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I think this is why most of the players stay in Season of Conquest instead of going back to the newer kingdoms or KVK 2 and 3, is because Season of Conquest is just much more fun, right? It's much more organized where the players are much more experienced, and yeah, it's more fun than playing with new players, to be honest. And basically, I also want to talk about my plans for this account. I have confirmed my migration, and I have told the King of 2010 that I will be migrating over to Chiscool's Smash Squad in the next 2 weeks or so. I have to get all the rewards and stuff for this KVK, and once that happens, I will move over to 2605 and uh, their king, I believe, is Cortex, and the reason why I'm going there is because number one, I do after this KVK, I do want to find a kingdom where it is mainly English speaking. It is a lot more easier for me, English speaking or Chinese speaking. But I don't want to go to 960 because I just feel like my performance that might not be up to their expectation. I don't want to uh, make them think that my account will be run 24/7. Obviously, if you know me from KVK 1 and 2, my account will be run almost 24/7 in the previous KVKs, other than this one. This one, I do admit I was lacking on a lot of the participations. But I don't think I was a dead weight in this KVK. I think in our kingdom, I'm probably still top 5 to 6 performer in terms of KP and dead troops. Um, but yeah, going to 2605, I believe it is less than a super super top tier Imperium in terms of performance and expectations of your performance. Although I will be trying my best to fight and kill my troops. Um, my expectation is probably 10 to 20 mil troops per KVK season. And another reason is because I do have a couple of friends there. Shout out to Fluffy Pony and Yanni Roy. Those guys were from my previous KVK1 allies. They went back to KVK1 with another account to kind of like play the game and experience it. So I do want to go meet up with them. And yeah, 2605 seems like a really organized and good kingdom where I think we're going to get at least 100 max tech players in KVKs. So I think the experience overall will be better when there are more max tech players because after going into 1188 balls, it was just so enjoyable when you ball up with them and start killing the enemy troops. It was very fun. Yeah, so uh, I hope this migration will be a good endeavor, and I will be meeting a lot of new friends over at 2605 and fighting hard with them, and I'm looking forward to it. I hope this video brought you guys some enjoyment and entertainment. I'm going to start posting more videos now, and if you like this type of content, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Thanks.